Lightning like Steve McQueen. I'm in the fast lane when the light turns green. And I built tough, I ain't nothing but grit. Cause I made rugged blood, sweat, and spit. Yeah, like a horse I fly. Better push yourself in for a bumpy ride. I like to play hard, but I work harder. And I weather the storm cause I'm built stronger.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? We are back. We are live. It is the Freight Coach Morning Show, the top morning show in transportation, coming to you every single weekday, 8:30 a.m. Pacific, 10:30 Central, to break down some industry headlines. Obviously, we're back in studio today, back from the JOC Inland Conference here, and we'll do a little bit of a recap after we do the introduction and all that fun stuff. But yeah, guys, at the end of the day, we're here to break down some industry headlines and provide some actual insight into what you can do with a lot of this information out there. And, you know, frankly, it's why I proudly fly that American flag behind me every single day, because I'm living my American dream and I want to help each and every one of you guys live your American dreams as well. But before we do anything else, got to give a shout out to my friends over at VHub. You guys, vhubapp.com. We all need access to trailers, whether you're a broker, carrier, or a shipper. At some point, you're going to need them. And then especially right now with all the rising costs of maintenance and fuel and everything else that's going on, if you're a small fleet or a owner-operator, you shouldn't have to shut your operation down because your trailer is in the shop. And the best part about what they have, you guys, is you guys get paid to do this. So what they're working on right now, Paragould, Arkansas to Orting, Washington, $1,550 to do that. It's a brand new 2023 dry van on that. And that revenue, that $1,550, you guys, is on top of the freight that you can put in the back of that trailer. Clearfield, Utah, going to Henderson, Colorado. It's a reefer, $700 to do that. And then they also have West Palm Beach, Florida, although shout out to everybody in Florida. I hope you guys are all being safe out there. That hurricane is no joke. But they are looking to move this out of West Palm Beach, going up to Aquasansi, New York, and you get paid $1,550 to do that. So hit them up, you guys, vhubapp.com. My man Xavier Campos and my friend Stacy Steen, they will be in the audience here as always. And yeah, Sunny Sharma, good fucking morning. Let's have a great fucking day. You are correct. Bob Hasrati, what's up, my man? Bob just told me he's in Phoenix. There's another one. I'm telling you guys, Arizona. We're on to something here. Andre Johnson, get excited. Great morning to you as well. Connor Foster, what's up? Slang and Freight, baby. Let's roll. Ryan Muhammad, good morning. What it do? Danny M, happy Thursday to you as well. Cody Hapke, what's up, brother? Good morning. Zach Williams, let's fucking go. You are correct, sir. You guys, Zach's with SPI Logistics. If you guys want to become a freight agent and take control of your financial future and run with that, hit him up. Connor, what's up, brother? Let's go, baby. Good to see you in the comments here today. Elizabeth Brown, good morning. First time. Welcome. Thanks for joining us here, Elizabeth. Laura, what is up? Good morning to you. All right. Yeah. So I got back from Chicago last night. I was at the JOC Inland Conference, you guys. Phenomenal information out there. And it's, because obviously the JOC is my favorite news source that's out there in the industry. Got to meet my friend Eric Johnson in person for the first time. Bill Cassidy, got to meet him as well. They've both been on the show. And, honestly, a lot of the stuff that we were talking about and what was being talked about is very relative, obviously, to what's going on right now with rails, ports, over the road transportation, everything. And again, it's like you got to get out there and immerse yourself around other people and kind of get out of that day to day. And one of their conference, like I'm going to be going back to that conference for sure, because there's just a ton of value that's out there. And really, it's just hearing some stuff from other people's perspectives at times. Because again, you guys, like with a lot of the stuff that I talk about, I don't need to be right. All right. At all. I just want to have information out there for people to look at it and see things through a different lens, because there is no one size fits all in transportation and life in general. And you got to look at it that way, so it's like getting out there in there and just hearing other people's perspectives can help solidify or change yours. And at the end of the day, that's going to benefit you, your customers, and everything else that's going on out there. We are at day 124 of this morning show. We're not stopping with that, but that's also that subtle reminder, you guys, of the fact that there is a truck parking issue in this industry as well as a facilities issue. And it's one of those situations that you guys, we're going to keep bringing this up every time, because at the end of the day, if you guys want this industry to change, you need to be that change yourself. It all starts with you, no matter what. National average for diesel, it's dropped again, which is welcome. Obviously $4.88 a gallon. It's still a fucking slap in the face price at the pump, but It's still up there. And again, it's $1.48 above where it was last year. And let me see. We are, I get this information, you guys, from the EIA.gov. Hit them up and again, get all of this information for yourself out there and bring it out there to your customers. Connor got the sale through the power of Jolly. Let's go, baby. I love it, man. Make some deals. Bill McIntyre, good morning. Let's fucking go as well. Yeah, Danny, it was, man. It was a really good time. I enjoyed it out there. That's right, Vitaly. USA, baby. USA. USA. You can do that anywhere and it'll start a chant wherever you're at. Let me see here. Obviously, hurricane going on in Florida right now. That is going, I mean, first and foremost, prayers to anybody who's out there. I've seen some of those videos from Fort Myers, and it's intense, to say the least. And I reached out to a couple of friends of mine who are out there, and fortunately they're doing all right. But yeah, it's going to throw a wrench into the, not a wrench, but it's going to throw a lot of opportunities out there in the freight market, you guys, in the next coming weeks about what's going down out there. Obviously, FEMA loads, disaster relief loads, all of that stuff is going to be a thing. And that's going to have a probably, I would say, at least a half of the country will be affected by this from like a rating perspective. At least in my experience during times of natural disasters in the trucking industry, it will at least affect, obviously with it being down in Florida, I would say rates from the Ohio Valley all the way over to East Texas and everything going into Florida, because that's where they're all going to pull it from and to get a lot of that down there. So again, flatbed step decks, Conestogas, RGNs, there's going to be a lot of that. Bottled water, generators, everything is going to be shipped into the state of Florida here as soon as this storm is at a point where they can start trucking a lot of that stuff in. So again, it's going to affect the market, and there's going to be a decent amount of freight that is going to be out there. So again, be prepared to assist more than anything, you guys. Like, it's not always about making as much fucking money as possible when there's people's lives at stakes. It's like, this is our industry. We need to be here in this in these times to help take care of our fellow man and woman out there down in Florida and anywhere else that's affected by any storm or any natural disaster. Also, you guys, it's damn near Q4. It's damn near peak season and everything else. So again, this is when freight's going to get real fun out there. And another thing about weather as well, you guys, this is another subtle reminder about, it's already snowing in certain parts of, and the mountains and everything else have already received snow. So what can you do right now though? So it's like, again, if you're out there moving freight, say out of the South where we don't get much cold weather at all, and you get any freight going up into the Sierras, the Rockies, or anything else, if there might be snow, talk to your drivers about that. Remind them, hey, bring chains just in case. We're at our desks the whole time. Like, we should be out there giving them this information. Just a subtle reminder on chains, warm clothes, everything else. And, to me, it's just a little value add that we can do to help each other out in, when weather seasons change. Because again, it's like, man, I live in Arizona, fortunately I'm from the upper Midwest, so I know that there's shitty weather and everything out there. But man, dude, just being in Chicago the last couple of days, it was freezing compared to what I was used to out there. But again, it's like, just do these little things, you guys. That's what's going to matter the most, because at the end of the day, we're all offering the same services as brokers and trucking companies. Frankly, we are. We're all going after the same shippers. We're all going after the same carriers. There's some technology that can differentiate yourself and everything else. But to me, it's always going to be those little things. Those little things are what going to separate you. That's what's going to get you more and more business. Let's do some market updates here. I'm just going to choose some random areas. We're going to go outbound St. Louis today. And let's go reefer. Outbound reefer St. Louis right now. It's moderately tight capacity that's going on out there. And then let's go St. Louis. Let's go Minneapolis. Let's pull that up. Moderately loose capacity out there. So again, in the St. Louis market right now, it's showing that there is 2,000 loads to about 900 trucks that's out there. And yeah, this is, and then going up into the Minneapolis market, there's just a lot of loads and not a lot of trucks. There's no other way to put it. So again, this is going to affect pricing and everything going into that market. So again, you guys, when you're looking at it, when you're pricing freight, in my opinion, you need to go like where the freight, it's not necessarily the outbound market It's about where the freight's heading into. Because again, if you're picking up in a tight capacity market, obviously your rate's going to be affected. And especially if it's going into a loose market as well, where there's not a lot of freight coming out of that, that will affect your rates as well. So it's like pre-plan this stuff. It's not always about a set rate per mile that's going on out there, because it's like, all right, so, I talk about regional freight. So even if we pulled, we got St. Louis to Minneapolis here, let's pull going down to Des Moines, Iowa, because that's pretty much in the exact same region. Again, it goes into another loose capacity part of that. And then let's go over to Indianapolis with this. And then that's going into a neutral market as well. So, I mean, kind of in that radius there, you can get pretty consistent pricing. The prices aren't necessarily affected by that because it's loose, and then a neutral market. So the rates are going to be pretty much aligned throughout all of that. So take that into consideration as you're bidding out freight, you guys. The regional markets are not as drastically different as a lot of people might think in those moments. To me, there's, and especially if you go like this, like I was talking to a couple of guys yesterday at the conference about this as well, as it's like pulling a rate lane history, go the last 30, 60, 90 days out there. And if you pull a region, for the most part, the variance isn't going to be that different, you guys. It's going to be a couple of cents per mile going out there. So the rates aren't as unpredictable as people want you to think at times. Again, at least in my experience on the 3 full truckloads that I've moved in my career, they're very consistent out there. And especially now when we are in what is a freight market. I'm not even going to call it a normal freight market. This is a freight market. This is just fucking the way it is for the most part. And again, take that into consideration going into peak season, you guys. It's all about winning business. So let's break down some articles. Full transparency, I chose all these articles this morning because, frankly, I didn't get home till like 9 o'clock last night, and I went to bed. And yeah, so that's why I didn't make the announcement of what we're doing, but that's fine. Do what I want. I'm just kidding. All right. First article that we're going to break down today is from the JOC and written by my friend Eric Johnson. It's on Project 44 and how it aims for product harmony with new platform. Visibility provider P44 on Tuesday said his integrated data and capabilities across the range of acquisitions that it has made over the last 2 years, a move intended to give shippers a single view as their cargo moves across modes, which, I mean, all things considered, that's extremely exciting to think, like, when it's imported, because obviously P44, global visibility. I got a lot of good friends over there. I was going to give a shout out to my man, Josh Main. But to me, it's, that is a solid play overall, is the overall global connectivity of the freight, whether it's being transported by air, land, sea, road, whatever that looks like, and to have that single platform, that's pretty solid. It's exciting to see, considering when I started in this industry, we used to have to fax fucking rate confirmations over. But anyways, their new platform is called Movement, and it is aiming to better connect the independent modes and regions into and expanded through some acquisitions it's made in 2021. And it also made investments in the commercial teams in Europe, South America, and in Asia, and to bring data and sales partners in those regions. Companies executives hinted at the integration platform briefly in July. And then aside from linking predictive visibility across modes, Movement is also intended to package P44's independent insight and workflow products into one platform. It's also the latest example of consolidation in the visibility market, manifesting itself into a more integrated solutions across modes. That's something that vendors had told the JOC the shippers are increasingly seeking as they grapple with international shipments data during the periods of unintended global disruptions. And yeah, there was a shipper panel that I had watched at the JOC conference. And that's, I mean, a lot of it was that right there. It's the consolidation and visibility of markets that are out there. And then it was also about, obviously Emerge is a longtime sponsor of my content. And my friend Andrew Leto was talking yesterday morning about that and how the RFP cycles. And again, like, Andrew Leto is one of those guys, but you guys got to follow him if you're not, and Emerge as a whole and what they're doing from the RFP standpoint alone is, he was talking about how RFPs and, some of the shippers that were speaking on these panels were talking about that as well, is it's just not going to look the same anymore. It's not going to be an annual bid that takes 3 months to do. Now it's going to be shifting towards a 3-month RFP cycle. And it's now a quarterly RFP where a new one's coming out, and Emerge already has that out there. They have a really exciting product for a lot of things in the industry. And I'm really excited to see where that's going. But again, it's like, I mean, don't get me wrong, guys. Technology is awesome if you can afford it. There's still a very large space for the companies that are still out there building. And, maybe they don't have a ton of money to invest in technology. So there's still a market that's out there for it. But again, it's like, how do you separate yourself? And technology is going to be there for it. And I think it's you got to sit there and listen to what some of these shippers are saying. And, again, you don't get access to this information for most times unless you go to a conference, or you're fortunate like me and know a lot of shippers who are out there who are going to tell you a lot of these things. But again, this is what people are looking for. Let me see here. Goes on to say in this article that the need for visibility providers to internally integrate products and data from acquisitions came to light in August. That's when P44 and Forkite said it was letting go of about 8% of its global staff. Let me see. P44 went through its own reset in June and it let go about 5% of their staff. And separately, Tuesday, Forkite said it received $10 million in strategic investment from Mitsu and Company to build a presence in the Asia and Pacific region. And yeah, it's that article, joc.com, talking about P44 product harmony and everything else that's going on out there, and that one-stop shop platform for all visibility for international freight. And then, yeah, it's again, it was a lot of those little things that we were hearing out there. Yes, man, Sonny, vaccine rate confirmations was a real thing. You know that. A lot of us know that. It's wild, but it's definitely a part of it. Also, second article we're going to break down. This is from the DAT blog, dat.com blog. Revenue is up, but so are operating costs. What does it really cost to operate a truck in 2022? This was written by Dean Croakey, and I got to meet him in person for the first time as well out there. And man, I could talk to Dean for hours. Like, he is probably one of the most fascinating people in this industry because he has experience on all sides. All sides. He still owns a truck. I didn't even know that. He told me that. He's like, yeah, I still own a truck. I have it sitting in Boston right now. That's crazy to me. But they put out this article here, and what it's talking about is determining the cost of operating a truck in 2022 depends on who you ask, plus a range of other factors, including the type of business, for hire, private fleet, power only, etc., length of haul, fleet size, truck and trailer type, customer base, and so on. What's important to remember is that there's no right or wrong answer. So let's start at the best estimate of what it looks like to run a single truck operating in the market. And, again, you guys, my mindset's changed of this. I've had, of the, hey, I'm a broker, I shouldn't know. Look, that's your business. And I get that theory, but I also think that there is a ton of value if you're a broker and you understand from a base level. Like, you don't need to go in depth because, again, a lot of the trucking companies out there have very different operating expenses based off of financing. Everything else is at a leased truck, everything. So again, like, having a baseline understanding though of what it takes to run a truck from a break-even standpoint is only going to help you in the long run. So it says, let's start at the top. What does it cost an owner operator to run a truck? With the average cost of ultra low sulfur diesel at $4.94 on September 19th, total operating costs, including wages of this truck, are still around $2 a mile that week. That same truck would have cost $1.77 to run a mile a year ago, represented an increase in operating costs of 14% or 24 cents a mile. This rapid increase in diesel costs is large part to the rise in operating costs, and fuel as a percentage has increased 52% from a year ago. And, what are the assumptions used in operating cost model? And the trucking operation we've based this analysis on is a typical owner-operator long-haul dry van operation covering 100,000 loaded and 15,000 empty miles annually. Another shameless plug for Emerge. If you're an owner-operator or a trucking company, if you sign up on that, you can actually help reduce that because they get you access to a lot of shippers. Again, shameless plug, hit them up. And And then also with the truck and trailer financed at current interest rates, annual wages and profit of a target of $70,000 a year or 61 cents a mile, operates 50 weeks a year, speed limited at 65 miles an hour. This has nothing to do with your personal opinion on speed limiters. It's just for the article. Buys fuel at retail price and averages 6.5 miles a gallon. We've attempted to approximate the typical operating costs that are out there. Being a carrier in the spot market, there is no fuel surcharge. So the spot markets are average line haul rates excluding fuel when determining profitability. And of course, the actual spot rate that's going on, they're averaging about $2.27 a mile. That's about 35 cents a mile per hire on all lanes going out there. And then it also talks about how carriers are doing. And Mike Hosted, he's the VP of Sales and Marketing, said in a recent webinar that independent owner operators' net income is down around $1,000 annually compared to 12 months ago. And that's partly due to higher operating costs, and that's the variable costs are up 26.3% year over year, and fewer annual miles are down. It also noted that higher diesel prices mean carriers with more fuel-efficient trucks were making money this year. The best business owners can really do it well in this market, and many of them today are running more miles at greater levels of efficiency. The difference between 6 and 7 miles per gallon at today's prices amounts to about $10,000 a year in savings. So think about that. Again, like, I'm not a fan of the government mandating fucking anything, let alone a speed limiter on a truck, because I kind of feel like that's what a speed limit's in place for. But again, I digress. But it is the importance of knowing the differences out here. I mean, think about that. If you are able to self-govern your truck, set the speed limit at whatever that is, and you can pull an extra mile per gallon out of there, that's $10,000 a year. That's a lot of fucking money in today's market. And then again, it's like, while you're operating like this, when the costs are increased, this is how you operate in a down market as well. When the fuel is cheaper and everything else, you keep operating like this. And let me see. All right, the bottom line is that revenue is up 22% year over year as of June, but so are the costs, which means independent owner operators are still financially viable, as well positioned heading into fourth quarter. And what 2023 brings is another story that's going out there. And this is what Dean had said to me in person as well. His advice for any trucking company out there, owner operator, whatever that looks like, have January, February, and March's truck payments already in the bank before the end of this year, because the way that this market is operating, there'll be a peak season, obviously in Q4, and then historically January is the worst month of the year for freight, and then it starts to slowly climb up late February, and then at the end of Q1 is when you'll start seeing an uptick in it. So that was his big push. Big takeaway overall was having those first 3 months, Q1's truck payments in the bank before the end of this year. And again, that was from DAT.com. Revenue was up, and so are operating costs out there. Josh Kraus, what does he say? Josh, what's up, man? Good to see you. The miles are down 10K, but revenue is only down $1,000 a year. Okay. Yeah, man, it's again, it's always about that in business, you guys. It's knowing your costs as a whole. Last article we're going to talk about today is from fleetowner.com, and its spot rates continue to slide despite stronger volumes. And again, I think that what we're seeing is obviously a lot of the shippers that are out there are doing their 23 bids right now, if not throwing in a peak season mini bid. And again, it's always about this rebalancing act that's going on out there, and again, on the shipper panel, all of them had said this exact same thing. And again, this is why I need, dude, like, I know Joe Rogan has a Jamie who just pulls shit up. I need this bad because I've been talking about this for a few months. And for those of you who watch my show a lot, you've heard me say this. This was verbatim from a very large shipper at the conference. He said, our contracts are at, say, $3 a mile, and the spot market's at $2 a mile. And when we put stuff out there to bid, we're not looking for you to drop your price down to $2 a mile, because that will throw off our entire operation. So again, I don't know what morning show host has been saying this, and I'm just saying, I might know a thing or two about. I learned it through my 3 truckloads. But anyways, though, talking about this article here and what's going on. Again, spot rates are down. Obviously, spot rates are going to plummet when contracts are significantly higher and people are not going to reject tenders. Again, that talking point for a lot of this year from certain people have been, oh, the spot, tender rejections are fucking this and that. No one is going to reject a load at a higher price to take it for less money. No one's going to fucking do that. Okay. So that has a major part of it. But again, it's going to be that rebalance. And then what you'll see, I think, for contracts for 2023, as these rates get published and everything else out there, there's going to be a rebalance. And then at some point next year, this is just my guess. This is just my absolute guess, is at some point next year, spot rates will be within a certain percentage of contracted rates. And that's where you're going to start to see people rejecting tenders. All right. They're going to reject tenders because they're going to roll the dice on the spot market and see if they can get it for less and start making more money and everything else. And then you'll start seeing a rebound because then the spot market rates are going to start to rise. And then my guess is that's going to happen at some point next year. Obviously, there's a lot of variables out there, and I'm kind of talking out of my ass on that one, but it's just my gut feeling. And I think that that's when you'll start seeing a reprieve in the spot market is going to be some point in 2023. But again, if you're out there and if you're in this industry for the long term, if you're in this for the long haul, pun intended, dad joke, I pay attention to overall freight volumes more than anything, because to me, there is still a lot of freight that is moving out here. And truckload volumes for van rate was at its highest ever, 258 last month, at a 11.7% increase compared to July and a 12% increase year over year. And the reefer TVI increased 8.2%, and while flatbed jumped to 12.5%. So again, you guys, freight volumes are still up. Yes, spot markets suck. All right, spot market rates are fucking terrible for the most part, but not on every lane. And again, that's why don't pay attention to the national average being one thing, because it's not a one size fits all. You could pull every lane in America out there right now, and there's still loads that are moving for $4 a mile, $6 a mile. Unfortunately, there's some fuckbags who are moving it for $1.50 a mile. I can't help everybody out there, but that's the thing. So again, there is a lot of freight that is moving. And so DAT is where there was their data source on this one, you guys. And then they got their average spot rates, which are derived from RateView and include only over-the-road lanes with a length of 250 miles or more. And yes, so that being said, it's solid to see that volumes are up. Yes, spot market rates are down and they're terrible, and I get that, but it's not everywhere. All right, and I want people to keep that in mind again, as we're going out there and kind of tackling this. So that article was from fleetowner.com. And that was spot rates continue slide in August despite stronger volume as a whole. And let me see here. Cam, what's up, bro? I'm sorry I didn't call you back last night. Drew Driscoll, morning coach. Morning to you as well, sir. Yeah, Sonny, I'm good at using those words out there in different multiple forms. It's an art form at this point. And yeah, you guys, that's kind of it for today. Also, I got to give a shout out and maybe provide a little bit of clarity on the post I put out yesterday. My company, Broker Carrier, brokercarrier.com, is obviously we're a digital carrier packet. Our big value add is in utilizing in-network carriers through our load notification process and everything else that we have in there. We do have an open API and are ready to integrate with any TMS company that's out there. What we are starting, though, is for our users. These are the people. We do give out a free 30-day trial for anybody who wants to come and check it out and give it a shot. For all of our paid users out there, once a month, we are doing a mastermind call for all of our users, all of our paid users, because I want to help you guys scale your businesses. And our pricing that's out there, you guys, is fucking the most competitive, and it's the best bang for the buck you will find in this market. I will die on that hill. We have a price for any size organization that's out there. All right. And what we're doing is we're doing monthly mastermind calls, October 5th at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to talk about cold calling. All right. And this is going to be a full on thing. This is what I do with my clients as well. And we're going to talk about cold calling. We're going to talk about prospecting, and we're going to be talking about business development and everything. And how do we grow out our companies? And again, it'll be through Zoom. There'll be a live Q&A as well. So I want people to drop their questions in there. I'll dedicate probably the first 20 minutes to me talking. And then the last 30 to 40 minutes are going to be all Q&A, because again, you guys are all situationally going through stuff differently. And I want to address specific concerns for that. And then we're going to be doing that once a month. Again, you guys, I just want to see my clients scale their operations as a whole, so for me, that's what we're going to be doing out there. I know I got a bunch of DMs from people on that. If you're looking to schedule a demo to check this out, you got to email my business partner, Kyle at brokercarrier.com. He's going to set all of that stuff up. And then again, you guys, this is going to be a once a month thing. And then if it grows in popularity, we'll do it twice a month. We'll do an operations one and a sales one twice a month. We'll do that every single month for ours, because I want to see all of my clients succeed and build their operations up. Sonny, I appreciate that. Again, I can sit up here and talk about how great it is, but Sonny's a client of ours, and he says it right here, you guys. Broker Carrier has helped his teams cover freight so much faster. But that's it for today, you guys. The Freight Coach Morning Show. If you guys saw value in it, share the show. All right. Again, that's all I can ask from each and every one of you who are coming back in droves, and I appreciate all the support. Is if you guys see value in this, share the show, because if you do, your network will as well. I appreciate you guys all so much, and we'll be talking to you soon.